Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I'm the Dude79, and joining me always, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Fanboytone. Mr. Fanboytone, good evening, sir.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty much lucky to be here right now.
That's true. That is very true.
I'm pushing through the suffering of getting my second COVID shot. And all day yesterday, I was telling people, yeah, I got my second shot, and I'm hoping that'll be easy peasy. But as I've said many times before, dude, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all.
So true.
Last night, like when I was wrapping up the night, I was like, okay, cool. A little bit of discomfort in my arm, but I mean, that's typical of any shot.
Especially if you jerk off a lot.
Well, I don't use my left.
You don't do it right.
Actually, I do it right. Right. Anyways. So I went to bed, a little bit of discomfort, and just exhausted, just tired. And I was like, "Oh, cool. This is pretty easy. This isn't too bad. This is not bad." I woke up this morning, dude. I thought I was dying. I was like Cameron and Ferris Bueller. Like, I'm dying.
Oh, God, yeah.
Seriously, I immediately had to call in. This, like, the arm was it was excruciating pain. I was like, "Holy shit, dude! Like, what the fuck just happened from last night?" I had a 102 temp. I mean, I had the works going, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do a show tonight, but, throughout the day, I got to rest a lot. I did a lot of sleeping, taking care of my kid because he's home, because he's quarantined, because his class got sent home. So it's just been chaotic. But yeah, the second shot just beat the living shit out of me last night and throughout today. And then towards the end of the night here, I started to feel a little bit better. It's like, you know what, fuck it, man. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Were you Pfizer or Moderna?
I was Moderna.
See, that's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. I could be like Jay-Z and going with Johnson & Johnson.
Half-ass had the J&J.
Oh, nice knowing you, Half-ass.
Well, he had it a couple weeks ago, and he knocked him on his ass for like 2 days.
Oh, did it really?
Hey, getting the full injection, the hot beef injection at once.
I remember Jimmy Z, he went and when he got his J&J shot, I think the next day they came out with all that shit like, oh, it could cause a blood clot. We got to stop, providing for people. And then Jimmy Z was in the chat like, all right, goodbye. I'm dead.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's been kind of a rough day, but yeah, man, we got a lot of good stuff we want to talk about tonight, and I just didn't want to be a pansy, so
yeah,
I didn't want to
be
late
for that. So
my wife, she was like last night, she goes, "So are you gonna do the man cold thing? Is that where we're gonna be at tomorrow?" I was like, "No." I woke up and I was like, "I'm so sore," and she's like, "You're a pussy," and I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, we talked about it today. You confirmed.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal though. But no, feeling better. But what's good with you, man? I know you got your second shot.
So I got mine on Saturday, and I'm still dealing with the arm soreness, like from my neck and everything too. I don't know if there must be some correlation. I guess I don't know, but honestly, I got like a kind of a achy, like my joints and everything like that, and really tired. But that was about it. I didn't cry and whine like a little bitch, so. Fine on that.
I was crying like a bitch all day, man. It was bad, man. I think I took a nice shower. I was in the shower for like 25 minutes, just laying on the floor in the shower because it was just hot water. I had the chills, had that temperature. It was a hot mess today. I was a hot mess. But yeah, thanks, Mom Shelter. I appreciate that, man. I'm still a little beat up, and I'm sure tomorrow I'll feel like trash again. But what can you do? But what else is going on with you, man? You playing anything? Well, I know we're talking about one game. We'll be talking about a little bit later.
Man, I just been busy with work, trying to learn some new things at work, so I've been way too tired for all that. So I haven't been playing a whole lot of games recently, except for the one we'll be talking about a little bit here shortly. But no, honestly, for the most part, it gets to be like 10 or 11 o'clock at this point right now, and I'm just like out. So
yeah,
sure.
You're an old man now, dude. Like a grandpa. Remember the grandpa in bed stream? That was a sweet stream, man. Wasn't that what you called your stream on Mixer?
Yeah, that was
Grandpa's in bed.
That was Wednesday nights. That was a Wednesday night. Grandpa's in bed stream, and I was up drinking, and well, he ain't doing that anymore. So right now, we're gonna get back to that at some point at least. But I see you guys are all real active as always. A lot of the usual suspects. Thank you as always for being here.
Oh yeah.
Yes, King Cuddles. I don't think we should really equate the dude to Michael Jordan. That's a lot of different things going on there.
Kind of like
for
Jordan.
Sure. No, I don't think so.
Kind of like Michael B. Jordan and Remorse, just a badass.
It's true.
Is that the Michael Jordan you're talking about?
I might go with that. No, definitely not. No.
Dude. I'm trying to think. We want to tell you guys and girls. Last week we talked about our trip to Muskegon, and right now up on our YouTube channel you can check out Beer Quest number 2. where we went to Muskegon to visit Pigeon Hill Brewing as well as Dr. Rolf's Barbecue. Awesome video. Had a lot of fun doing that. Looking forward to doing another one again. You can also check out Half-Ass Beer Reviews YouTube channel as well. He has like another video from the same trip, a different perspective, some more insight on his channel. Definitely worth a look on his channel as well. So make sure you check those out.
King Cuddles, if you wouldn't mind, link to the chat, everybody, are videos, the Banter and Babble version, the Half-Ass Brew version, and then you can go to each one, maybe sub if you haven't, maybe leave a comment.
Watch the video.
Something. Think about it.
Talk about the food.
Yeah,
Man,
right. We'd love to hear your thoughts about it.
It was so good. That food was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
All right, so we've got quite a few topics to talk about tonight, but the first one,
Mortal Kombat. Let's talk about Mortal Kombat. I'm ready to go.
Oh my god.
Where we at? We got some more time on that one?
What was that video I sent you? Was it that Jay Hill sent me? Was it Screen Crush or Screen Rant? Who did that Mortal Kombat video where they were like the pitch?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I've seen a couple now that have been, but that pitch one was really funny.
That pitch one was absolutely fucking hilarious.
So I want to point out, 24-minute rant is separate as well from the actual show as a clip on the YouTube channel all over. I've definitely been a little redeemed because other people that have a bigger wave in media and social media have also felt similar to how I felt. So, though I don't need them to feel vindicated because I'm right anyways, but there it is.
that video was awesome. It was really, really good. All right, so moving on to our first topic. This actually just happened yesterday, this video that just came out. Now, I don't remember, what was the fight that Chris Bay and Jake something were fighting to enter in a 6?
Yeah, I think it's a run for one of the top belts. I don't know. I don't think it's the X Division belt. I don't recall offhand, and shame on me for not knowing.
I don't think it's X Division belt. I think it's heavyweight.
It might be for, but technically right now Omega's got it, so who knows.
But so anyways, earlier this last week, Thursday night, Jake was fighting Chris Bay, and some shenanigans took place during the match, and we're gonna talk about that because it's going to lead to something very, very interesting, something that we've been really kind of excited about. But let's watch this clip. You can see what happened, then we'll have to see what Jake something had to say about it. This is pretty wild. Shady dog.
Being dirty.
Oh, no way. And that's how he lost.
It really cost the match, bro.
Oh, he's not happy. This cost him a match.
And I had a shot at an opportunity for the Impact Heavyweight title. And then here it is, Rohit. I'm disappointed but not surprised. Everyone knows that we're friends. At least most people know that we're friends, right? But that obviously had to end because it's always jealousy with him. We broke in at the same time. We've been in this linear path for years. Places we were working, matches we're in, opportunities we're given or earning rather. He's had titles here before me. He's had pay-per-view matches here before me, but somehow, some way, his head is still so clouded with jealousy that he thinks I'm given things. He thinks he thinks that I'm being handed these opportunities when he's already been there. He just wants to keep me down because if I surpass him, it doesn't elevate him, it doesn't elevate me, it lowers him in his warped, twisted mind. So this friendship has to end because of his jealousy. And it's going to go further than that. It's not even just going to be an ended friendship. I'm going to put him down. I have to hurt him. Because he took something very important from me. So it's more than just titles now. It's betrayal. And I've been showing everyone here who I am. And I think maybe you, Rohit, maybe you forgot somehow. So I'll show you again. And you're going to say my name. Rohit. What's my name?
It's not even a question.
Not even a question.
Not even a question.
So now we've been talking about it for a while. We've been kind of hoping that we would get this rivalry going. he mentioned they've been friends for a long time, but now Rohit just cost him a shot at the X Division Heavyweight Championship by interfering with the match, and Chris Bay took advantage of it, and Jake Something is out. So now, dude, it's brewing.
Oh, yeah.
It's brewing. This is what we've been talking about.
So tomorrow night, right here on Twitch, 8 p.m., Impact will, of course, have their normal weekly show, move from Tuesdays, etc. Rohit's got a match against Trey Miguel, another great wrestler within Impact. They put on great matches together as well, too. Who knows, right? Is Jake gonna come out and give him something back? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. Like, this is brewing, and like I said on Twitter the other day, I always equate things like this to like one of my favorite bands, Power Man 5000. What's gonna happen when these worlds collide?
Yeah.
Like, what is gonna happen? It's gonna be messy, and we've seen them fight before, and it's always great. But this is big because they've done some matches before in Impact.
When it
but
was the tag team.
Yeah, it's been more tag team, with the Desi Hit Squad and
yep.
stuff like that. This is going to be a little bit more on one of these two on a huge platform on one of the bigger promotions around the world. So that's very exciting to see that. Man, oh man, they always equate. I'm not a Dragon Ball guy, but they always equate it because they are to Goku and Vegeta. So yeah, very exciting for Impact. So that's Impact. It's the big stage. But I do want to take a quick moment and shout out to AAW Pro. Now has a Twitch channel. If you're not following AAW Pro here on Twitch as well, and you enjoy wrestling, you enjoy us talking about our friends here and watching them do their things. But I want to thank everybody here, especially for last Saturday, I believe it was, that was able to make it to watch these guys on AAW Pro wrestle. It was a fantastic match.
Yep.
That was a great match, and I hope we get to see something similar like that in Impact hopefully real soon. So fingers crossed on that. But thank you to all of you for always not only being consistent with doing things like being here or things we ask you to do, even if they're small or minute. You guys always take the time to do it, but also thank you for being there to support these guys too again. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, these guys always put on a hell of a show, man. Like, we got to go to Bay City that one time right before COVID blew everything up. We went to Bay City and we got to watch these guys go at it, and it was by far the best fight of the night. I mean, it was really
close.
It was high energy. It was intense. The crowd was into it. These guys put on a show. So tomorrow night, Rohit's supposed to go up against Trey Miguel. I'm going to be praying that somewhere Jake is lurking and finds a way to exact a little bit of revenge, because this is going to ultimately lead to the type of matchup we've been really hoping to see from these guys.
Yep, on a big stage, so that's pretty exciting.
Crash says, anyone else's stream messing up? Is anyone else having an issue with the stream? If you are, please let us know. We will fix it as soon as possible.
And for you, Arkenrath, yes, I don't always make Power Man 5000 mentions, though I should more, but here's...
All right, Tricky, you said everything's good on your end? Okay, cool. All right. Well, just keep me posted, you guys. If anything goes on with the stream, let me know. I'll see if we can fix it. If we have to cut the stream and come back on, we'll do that. But just keep me posted. Crash, maybe do like a refresh or close the app, or if you're on PC, maybe try Google Chrome as opposed to whatever else you're on. Or
I know you live kind of rurally too. Try feeding the hamster. Crash, try that as well too.
Jeez, that's rude. Very rude.
All but love for Crash.
All right, moving on to our next topic. We got a trailer this week. One that was really cool. It was very cool to see early on.
Right.
But then there was some stuff that showed up during the trailer. We're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, some kind of first sights and some bigger sights and things like that. So.
And a couple other reveals. So we're going to check out this trailer.
Bomb shelter.
It is the latest trailer from Marvel, and this is titled Celebrating the Movies. And we get to see a lot of good shit in the trailer. Let's check it out.
I love being with people. It's the most incredible thing in the world.
What are you doing?
Thank you for those subs, everybody.
Nice.
Appreciate that.
That world may change and evolve. But the one thing that will never change, we're all part of one big family. That man next to you, he's your brother. That woman over there, she's her sister.
Higher, further, faster, baby. That's right.
We're all part of one universe
Wakanda forever!
that moves ever upward and onward to greater glory.
Goosebumps.
On your left.
Avengers!
Phase 4, baby.
I've lived a lot of lives. But I'm done running from my past. We have unfinished business. Who's we? When you love something, you fight for it. We're the ones who changed everything.
But
Woo!
it is yeah, it is a little
Hot
uncontrollable.
damn.
Mm-hmm.
That was a sweet fucking trailer, dude. Like I
Yeah.
said, man, you got Stanley at the beginning, bringing everyone together, getting everyone excited about, getting back to the movies and watching these movies that we love witnessing in the theaters with other people. Because they show that clip from opening night. I mean, we were there for opening night, and it really is. It's just a different atmosphere. It's a different type of experience.
It's a completely different
It's like
experience.
you're at like a fucking sporting event. Like everyone's just jacked, everyone's excited.
on the same
and-
side.
Yeah, everyone's on the same side. Everyone's together, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun. And I'm really, really excited about what we saw from this trailer, dude. But I want to get your thoughts of what we saw from the trailer, things that stood out to you.
Honestly, nothing too huge. I mean, I guess I would probably say the Eternals.
Yeah.
Now we're getting some real dates here too. Again, I think it's some readjustments. I don't know if we've had some of these dates before. But
There was a couple
definitely,
tweaks in there.
yeah, definitely the Eternals for me, just because it's another playing field that we really haven't seen. I mean, yeah, it's going to be modern-esque times, but that blood runs really deep. That's a very, very deep cut. That goes back to like the foundation of like really the current Marvel MCU or the universe or anything. So that's kind of a big deal. I don't think a lot of folks realize that it's not gonna be like the others. It's gonna be a little bit different due to that, I think.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of excited for that, just because it's kind of a little big change up. And then I'm a big Thor guy, so I love Chris Hemsworth's version of Thor, and I know he's not everybody's cup of tea in the MCU, but I'm a huge fan. I really love his delivery, so
Mhm.
I'm really excited about Love and Thunder. Like I'm like super excited, and clearly I don't have to say anything about Doctor Strange. That's probably my most number one up there that I'm excited about. But overall, the Fantastic Four thing is hype. I'm not a huge Fantastic Four guy. I do want Doom involved now,
Sure.
really bad. But no, that's pretty much it for me. It's just a good refresher. It's a good kind of like, hey, we've been gone for a while. We're throwing out some TV. Let's kind of get back to form soon, hopefully. So
I'll do that. El Blanco says, I'm going to be mad if that 4 is Cap 4. I don't think there's any way that's Cap 4.
no,
There's
that,
no way.
That's right.
That is, there is absolutely no way that
All
was
right,
Cap
yeah.
4. That was definitely Fantastic Four. So, Yeah, that what we saw there. We saw, man, we're gonna have a good amount of movies every year for the next 3 years, through 2003 or 2023. Black Widow in July, Shang-Chi in September, The Eternals in November, Spider-Man to round out the year. Next year we'll have Doctor Strange in March, Thor in May, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever in July, and the Marvels in November. And then in 2023, the first half of the year, we'll have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And that's what we're going to get in the first half of 2023. So a lot of fucking good stuff here. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a set schedule because we've been moving so much stuff back due to the pandemic. But now they're starting to kind of get things in place. And, dude, I'm excited. I'm ready to go back to the movies. We were talking about that before the show. We got our second vaccination. We should be good by the time Black Widow comes out. I'll still probably wear a mask to the theater.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to get into the theater and experience it with other people and see it on the big screen. I mean, I love watching movies downstairs in the confines of my home, especially Disney Plus. I mean, that's really where I'm at my most comfortable is watching that down here. But, some of these movies, you just have to be there around other people in a packed house. And, dude, it's going to be wild. But, I mean, this is a sweet lineup. I mean, we've seen a lot of good stuff here. And what's cool about Eternals, I didn't realize the cast. I mean, I'd heard a couple people.
Oh.
I mean, you got Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek. But what's awesome is I didn't realize it has Richard Madden and Kit Harington, the Stark kids. You got Robb Stark and Jon Snow. Brian Tyree Henry, and then Kumail Nanjiani.
Yes.
I butchered that one.
Yes, you did.
But no, that's a fucking sweet cast. It was cool to finally see a little bit of footage from that movie. That was the last one that we got footage from, but pretty dope, man. That was a sweet trailer. Got me all hyped. And like I said, anytime you hear Stan Lee getting hyped about stuff, and
just get right in the feels.
Yeah, it hits you right in the feels. But
yeah.
What everyone in the chat think was pretty good. What do we got here? Have-ass beer review. I hope they bring back Michael Chiklis as Grimm. I did like Michael Chiklis.
I like Chiklis, but
I think he's really good. Not gonna work here anymore, anyways. Right. Zamir, not gonna work here anymore.
Yeah.
That's a sweet Office Space reference. Well done, Forge.
I did see Cuddles made a point about I like how somebody spliced in somebody's bootleg version of the movie into the trailer. That was pretty funny. Got a good laugh out of that. I know Ant House, you want FF done right. I think a lot of us do. Even if you're not a big fan of FF, you want that done right. It's about time that they definitely do it and do it right.
Do we have any casting for that yet? Do we have anything?
No, we just got to have what's his face from Jack Ryan in it.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, if he's not, I riot.
What if he was Grimm?
No.
What if he was though? Wouldn't that be funny?
No, I'm not gonna. He's saying dumb shit for it. Cuddles, of course, says most movies ever mentioned on B&B did not involve Nick
that we know of.
Cage.
We don't know the casting for Five.
Yeah.
For
he could be Dr. Doom. He takes his face
off.
No,
dude, that would be fucking awesome. Nick Cage, and then we can go back to this clip and be like, Cuddles.
Yeah, what up?
You're a dummy. You jinxed it.
Nick Cage is Dr. Doom. Everybody, we're calling it right now.
We did find out that Russell Crowe is going to be in Thor, going to be Zeus.
That's a really good casting for that, actually.
That's fucking sweet.
I don't wonder if he's going to be the same guy that he was basically in that truck movie.
Unhinged?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, just like a little rotund now and sweaty.
Cage is all four of the final four. It's like multiplicity with Nick Cage and Fantastic Four.
I'm way into that idea. Start writing that script. Hey, subject, you didn't make it. What up, buddy?
That would be. What did subject want to talk? He wanted to chime in on Returnal. Right?
No, he wanted to talk about the game. Returnal.
Yeah, Returnal.
Yeah,
maybe you should pay attention.
All I heard was Eternal, and then Arkanrat's out there talking about internals being in a porno, which. That's another comment I don't want to get into. Well,
I'd probably watch that.
Yeah, so Crash is a huge 4. He's a 4 or 5, yeah. See, he did. We got Crash out here with his expertise in the comics there. So, yeah, looks like they're going the Wakanda movie instead. Yup. So with Chadwick not there, looks like they're going to focus more on Wakanda and maybe the characters within that. I just hope and really want, and I'm sure it's not going to happen. Hopefully, it gets set up at some point. I really do hope that yes, Namor is involved or Latveria, excuse me, Jesus. Something like that's introduced where you could get the Doctor Doom. I really want Namor. I really want that Atlantis and Wakanda battle and fight so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping for that. But yeah, I do like that. It's a good move for him too.
I was reading an article that came out I think in the last couple of days. They talked about how they're going to handle the passing of Chadwick Boseman. It sounds like they have a good plan in place. It's going to be a very emotionally charged, seeing how they're going to handle it. So
sure.
it'll be really curious to see how they do it, because that's a tough situation to try to maneuver through, and how they would set it up. Doom will be played by Jim Carrey. Would you watch that? Would you go Jim Carrey as Doom?
I'm a big Jim Carrey guy, so probably.
I do like Jim Carrey.
I mean, I'd see it, but like I don't want it. But that really, as soon as he said it, I like instantly imagined it. Like I completely saw it in my head, and that almost
hey
made me fall in my chair.
Jim Carrey as Doom sounds like a disaster. Come on, subject. Hey man, look, when he was what was it, Dr. Robotnik? I was like, I don't know about this. And then I watched it, I was like, he was fucking sweet as Dr.
There's
Robotnik.
people that I don't understand.
Were people really mad about him?
No, people just didn't really like the Sonic movie, and I think if you take it
I
at
thought
face
Sonic
value,
was sweet.
if at face value, is actually way surprisingly an alright movie. Like
I
I
think
enjoyed
Sonic
it.
is a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah,
I have a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah, I did too. I enjoyed
Every time
it.
my kid watches it, I'm like, I'll watch it.
Yeah, and you're like, man, this is. Why is this watchable?
Yeah, it's entertaining, man. I was a big fan of Sonic, and I loved him as Dr. Robotnik, because there's one thing about Jim Carrey, man. He's committed. He will if it's an eccentric character, if it's somebody that requires over the top, nobody does over the top better than Jim Carrey. And as Dr. Robotnik, he was perfect.
Yeah,
he was perfect. He could work as Doom.
Carrey is Cage. Yes, that's what.
Carrey is Cage. What?
I don't know.
Who said that?
No,
Cuddles?
Blanco.
Was that a Blanco
that's a
bit?
Blanco comment.
What do they expect from the Sonic movie? The Godfather Part 4? I mean, I don't know what people were expecting. I mean, shit, man, they made... I remember when it was first revealed and everyone was pissed about the way Sonic looked, because he looked like a fucking...
Oh, yeah,
like
that
a
was
monster.
fair. I think that was fair.
That was fair, and I thought Sonic actually looked pretty good in the final build. I was like, oh, this is actually...
Looked like Sonic.
Yeah, it was like Sonic, and I thought the person that did the voice, his name escapes me. I thought he was really good as Sonic. I thought he was hilarious. I don't know what people were expecting from him. It's a fucking movie based on a hedgehog from a video game.
My kid liked it. I enjoyed it. Like I thought it was a pretty fun movie, and it's one of those things where I just don't feel like even now we keep seeing video game movies come out and just bombing or not been good or not bad track record or whatever. But nobody still mentions that Sonic wasn't that bad. Because Sonic is a very like 2D game and movie theory. It's not the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Cuddles wants to know, what's your thoughts on the new Mortal Kombat?
That's funny. You should ask.
No. We are going to move on to our next topic.
Fine.
Moving on from Phase 4. I mean, the lineup is dope. I'm excited for it. Can't wait to see it.
We already got yelled at about it. Oh,
shit. This is what happened. You guys, look, I just pumped the second vaccine in my body. I'm not thinking straight. I shouldn't even be doing this right now.
And a hot dog.
And a hot dog. Tone, what the fuck are we drinking tonight?
Saugatuck Brewing Company Blueberry Maple Stout. We've had it on the show before. I wanted to
really
keep it easy, smooth. I didn't want to think a lot tonight. Love this brew. I've been craving this. I see it all the time in the case. I keep saying, no, it's too sweet. I don't want to do that. I got to keep exploring. And then tonight I was finally, I really got to have it. And it just makes me want blueberry pancakes more now. Good. It's delicious.
No, it's really good. It's a stout, so it's a little heavy, but it's just really good flavor.
Is just
it's
so
really
amazing.
good, you guys. It's really good flavor.
Beer.
I think Tone told me after I had my second one of these, he was like, I don't think you're supposed to drink after you do your second vaccination.
Yeah, I think they let you start drinking, and then you're so you're negated.
So there's a good chance I'm going to die on stream tonight, because Tone was like, here, man, get drunk. Do some shots of Screwball and all this stuff before the show.
Tricky Fanboy 2022.
Oh, there we go. Tricky Fanboy. I would watch that from heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Excuse me. That was rude.
Wow.
I feel like I'm doing one of my own streams. All right. Moving on to the next topic. We are going to do a movie review.
Are we?
Yes, we are. We are going to talk about Without Remorse.
We are going to talk about that.
We are going to talk about Without Remorse.
It wasn't half-ass beer review. It was part of the
This stars Michael B. Jordan, Jodie Turner-Smith, Jamie Bell, Guy Pearce, and Lauren London. It's directed by Stefano Sollima. The most recent work that I know of his is Sicario: Day of the Soldado. I don't know if you've seen the Sicario movies.
I've seen the first one. Was awesome.
The fucking first one was intense. The second one is still pretty good. It's not quite there, but it's still really good. So big fan of those movies, but here we are. We're Without Remorse. We're kind of following the origin story somewhat. It's probably the earliest story of John Kelly. He is an integral part of the Tom Clancy universe. He's appeared in multiple other movies in different character form, portrayed by different actors. Willem Dafoe played Clark in Clear and Present Danger, and then Liev Schreiber played John Clark in Sum of All Fears. So we have multiple different people that have played John Clark, but we're going to explore in the younger version. And I'm gonna let you start off with this one first. I want to get your thoughts without remorse. But to sum it up, basically, this is the story of John Kelly. His he runs an operation in Aleppo. He gets into a show, some Russians, kills some Russians, comes back home. His family, a bunch of his team is assassinated, essentially, which one of them scared the fuck out of me. Dude taking out his trash. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what the fuck just happened?
And that was a character from, we were really excited in the home because we haven't seen that actor since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
So when he showed up, we're like, oh, shit, I can't even think of his name now. And like all of a sudden, blah, 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 boom, you're like,
yeah, dude, I was like, whoa, okay, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, great to see the actor. See ya.
So basically, yeah, the team starts getting wiped out by assassins on U.S. soil, and it plays out, from there. But Tony, I want to get your initial thoughts without remorse.
I actually did enjoy it. I know when we talked about it together, I feel like you ruined the experience for me a little bit, but no, I do agree with you. Some of you thought, because my thought process was that there was a lot of generic to this movie. It wasn't overly challenging. Like the story was interesting and good, but I felt like it was very cliche, which you would expect maybe
Sure.
in a movie like this. But I called it right away. Like I said, who was the guy? Like right away, I'm like, that's the guy. It's gonna be that, probably what it is. But I liked the action. I actually think we kind of split a little bit on the action. I felt like the action felt there's a part where the sniper's got him pinned down. I felt like it was definitely longer than I expected in normally scenes like that, and it felt like it played out kind of realistically, and I really enjoyed that. Even though some of the fight scenes, maybe like you said in the corridor, because these guys are like Navy SEALs, which
Right.
I fucking love anything Navy SEALs. It's one of your favorite movies, Navy SEALs.
Navy SEALs.
Ooh, but the movie really just didn't challenge a whole lot for you. Like, listen, Michael B. Jordan is fantastic in this. Like, this dude and his acting, he's going to be around for a long time. He's a great actor. And I love when he's involved in something because he's got this. When he gets mad, he doesn't really show it necessarily. His anger is such a presence.
Very subtle. It's very subtle.
And it's more like a presence. Like you almost man, I can feel the anger. He doesn't wear it necessarily, which I think gives a really neat layer of depth when he's like in some of these moments in the movie still. But the stuff that happened in his home was very off-putting and uncomfortable as well too. But it really kind of kicked it off. And when it started with some of those deaths and some of the stuff at the beginning, I felt like I was in for a wild ride. And at the end of it, you really kind of weren't. It really, instead of it's almost like one of those kind of roller coasters, like the Blue Streak at Cedar Point when it used to be there. You'd walk on the left, you have a couple things, and all of a sudden you're just kind of going, you're coasting.
Right.
I think you're going to kind of use that a little bit more too. So not to kind of steal your thunder on that, but that's, and I'm going to steal your thunder because that's what I do. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'm probably not going to really care or watch about it. I want more Tom Clancy stuff.
Sure.
I love Jack Ryan. And I wanted him to show up in this. I wanted really to cross into that and kind of get that really reboot. I thought they were trying to build like a Tom Clancy universe on Prime. That would be right. That'd be great.
I got to feel that's kind of in the cards. I have to feel it's kind of in the cards.
I hope so, right? But at the end of the day, it wasn't overly exciting. There's some great parts in it. There's some good dialogue. Michael B. Jordan's great. I enjoyed the sniper scene. That's pretty much it. And the ending was a little much to a degree, I'll say. I thought that was a little too much. Like, I know they want to pull you in emotionally and try to get people into that stuff, but I don't, that kind of fluff doesn't really do it for me in those kind of situations because it's unrealistic.
Sure.
And, but yeah, the credit scene was cool. It was kind of hype.
Yeah, you got a mid-credit scene, but just to touch on what Tone was saying, the first thing I thought is Michael B. Jordan is fucking really good in this movie. Like, he's obviously very talented. He has a lot of range. He can do a lot of different things. Obviously this is more of a straightforward action flick, but he does have some moments where he can humanize his character, flesh him out, give him some depth, with the loss of his family. So I thought he was very, very good in that regard. Jodie Turner-Smith, I don't think she was given enough to work with as like his partner when they're on their missions.
Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah, she was really good with what she was allowed to to work with. Jamie Bell plays Robert Ritter, who is an integral part of Clear and Present Danger, played by Henry Czerny. And Henry Czerny's character, that version of Robert Ritter, is a much more older, cynical version of the character. So you can kind of see a little bit of that in Jamie Bell's portrayal, because this is a younger Robert Ritter. This is before he gets to like director level and whatnot, a couple years as a director. he's good in this movie. He's good at kind of playing both sides. You're not sure if you can trust him or whatnot. I thought he was good. Guy Pearce, his character, I liked. I love Guy Pearce. I think Guy Pearce is he's got a screen presence. He's very good in what he does. But I did not like what's going on with some of his storyline. Especially towards the ending, I was like, I don't know if I could buy into that. So there was some issues I had with that, but yeah, you talked about the action. I felt like some of it was really good. The airplane sequence was kind of intense, but the sniper thing, I thought there was a few moments where it was kind of intense, but I just felt like towards as it played out more, it was just even more and more generic, and I was just like, fuck, man. I mean, like, where's the tactical elements? There's a few tactical elements while they're pinned down in the room.
You want more, though.
But once he gets out of the room, he just kind of turns into, Terminator. And I was like, I'm not really sure I'm buying into this. You see a little bit more thought going to characters' plays like Jason Bourne, Matt Damon in the Jason Bourne movies. A lot of his decision-making, a lot of the action sequences are very intense all the way through, and it's not like a superhuman. So he was really, really good, though. I mean, overall, I liked Michael B. Jordan. The cast was fine. I don't feel like the story was... I felt the story was a little too breezy, a little too light in certain areas where it's supposed to have been... They spent some more time fleshing stuff out and maybe coming up with a better motivation behind one of the characters, why what's going on is going on. I felt like that was just kind of like, just kind of like meh for a Tom Clancy flick. But what else was there? Oh, but yeah, the mid-credit scene was cool. We kind of get a little bit of a reveal, a little hint at what we kind of talked about the last time when we talked about the trailer for this when it dropped. According to a September 2018 report from Variety, Paramount Pictures tapped Michael B. Jordan for a 2-movie deal in the Tom Clancy universe. The first movie, Without Remorse, is the one that we just watched, and then the second one is Rainbow Six. That's supposed to be based on Clancy's second novel, focusing on
the
John
video
Clark.
game. Based on the video game.
But because this was from 3 years ago, this agreement, we're not sure if this is in fact in play right now. Hopefully it is, but that's kind of what the mid-credit scene alludes to, is it kind of talks about the group that forms the Rainbow Team for the next novel. So hopefully we'll see it. Hopefully, I don't know how. I'm not familiar with the novels. I never read them. I can't read. I'm more of a audiobook guy, because reading is tough. Reading's very difficult, you guys. Don't make fun. Hard. But overall, entertaining flick to a degree, but like Cuddles kind of mentioned earlier, it's one of those ones where I probably just won't think to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it quite compares to the ones that, the Clancy movies of the 90s, Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, Clear and Present Danger, Some All Fears was kind of I didn't care for the Jack Ryan reboot. But it was all right for what it was. It was all right for what it was. And again, Michael B. Jordan can... he'll sell anything. He'll make anything better. So, I mean, it worked. They were fortunate to have him. If they didn't have Michael B. Jordan in this movie, I don't know if it's even remotely good.
So, a couple more last things, I think, on this. I do agree with... I think I saw a 6 and I saw a 7 out there. I think I'm going to fall into, like, the 6.5, 6.75. I think it's a good rating for it. And maybe even a 7. Like, again, it had some good, but...
Oh, damn. The
it
Miz said
overall,
trash.
Okay, that's fair. And that's fair. Like,
Miz said trash.
And honestly, I feel like that's hard to debate that. I really do.
It's really hard.
I do agree with that. But, again, I do think Michael Jordan's great. I will say the plane scene, I was completely off-put by that because I thought that was stupid.
I thought it was weird where it played out, because I didn't think they were going to shoot it down. I was like, wow,
that was cool, but I gotta get the stuff. Like the entire way how that entire sequence played out just felt
it's
so
that
fucking
superhuman thing where you're swimming and holding your breath for a ridiculous amount of time.
Well, that wasn't the problem because they're Navy SEALs. I expect that out of those guys.
Yeah.
Even in the end when that kind of came around again, like even the wife was kind of like, I'm like. He's a Navy SEAL. I can kind of see these guys are gonna, because they do a lot of submarine. Come on,
that's true. Okay. I mean, they're badass.
You know that, yeah,
they're badass.
But it just felt kind of silly. Like we're going through all these extra steps. Like, gotta get the stuff. Like the plane's rolling over and shit. You're like, Jesus, fuck out of here. Like literally, get the fuck out of there. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
And Cuddle says, can we admit worst snipers ever?
Oh,
seriously,
absolutely.
3 of them. They're surrounded by
was there?
three.
I thought it was 2.
No, there was 2 out the windows and then 1 down the hallway.
Yeah, they were not good.
No, they were really, really bad snipers.
Yeah, like not good. And then when you got their perspective, you're like, bro, that's like a fucking window. Like,
yeah. No, I mean the guy's laying on the ground. The guy hit, and like, how's he not hitting him? Like he's laying right there.
Navy SEAL's not actual SEAL. Hey,
Tricky says agreed. That was a point drop for me.
You see?
Shitty Russian snipers.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully they get around to making the Rainbow flick. I would like to see them kind of explore that because that does have an interesting storyline. If you read the premise of it, it could be really good. And hopefully, like you mentioned, hopefully, if they go that route, maybe they can find a way to bring in the Jack Ryan stuff with John Krasinski because Amazon Prime has the rights to all the stuff. They're making all the stuff. Why not create that Tom Clancy universe?
Why would they make this a movie and not like a 2 or 3 part series and really flesh it out properly? If you've got Jack Ryan and doing 2 seasons and that shit's fucking wild to watch. Like, I'm almost done with the second season. I keep stalling because I watch everything else in the world too. But like, it's really good. Like the production value, even the production value and some of the stuff in this is really good. Like this is a great looking movie. But like, why would you like just say? Maybe it's because I would guess maybe actually because Michael B. Jordan does a lot of movies. Probably hard to lock him in for maybe a 2-part 3 series. I guess I don't know.
Especially this is like 3 years ago. This is before the pandemic hit, so it's a little bit more difficult for them people to make movies and stuff like that. So
Man, I just
a
feel
lot of
like
the movies he's probably going to work on got pushed back, so it's probably difficult for them to lock him up.
Tom Clancy stuff. Though I don't read the books and haven't, I do know that we've talked about it briefly. They're very character driven, and little character roles are very big. It's all threaded really well. Like, why would you want to lead with something great like Jack Ryan, and then here's another Tom Clancy one? It's just a movie. When you got Michael B. Jordan, it's like, bro, like maybe hopefully with Rainbow or something down the line, maybe they can figure something out and kind of stretch it out. Because I think if they would have stretched this movie out like a little bit more, I think this movie could have been like.
Well, had they fleshed out some other stuff, some of the ideas, some of the story tropes that they were trying to push, it probably would have been a much more enjoyable experience. It just felt like some of the story was so light and breezy. Yeah.
Even the end reveal, if you'd have stretched it out and like, either put the breadcrumbs out there, kind of like, made more sense of it, I guess.
So when they start to, when in the scene where they kind of explained why things were happening the way they were happening, I was just like, come on, dude, really?
I understand that, Miz.
This is where we're going with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good, but it wasn't great. And like Huddle said, it's just something I probably won't like make an effort to watch again. But hopefully they do step up from here, improve from here. This is their starting ground. Improve on the sequel, and then find a way to tie in Jack Ryan. Let's get these guys together because they do work together in Clear and Present Danger.
Please.
So and actually they do also work together in Some of All Fears.
Please, let's do that.
They do cross paths in the Tom Clancy universe. All right, moving on.
Mortal Kombat.
How are you doing?
We're not talking about Mortal Kombat?
We're not talking about fucking. How are you feeling? You good?
Good for another topic.
Good for another topic? All right, well, here we go. Moving on to the next topic. Let's talk Returnal.
Ooh.
This is the game that we've been playing since Friday. A game we were really excited about. And a game I think we both have differentiating opinions on.
I think we're all over the place.
I think everyone is all over the place with Returnal right now.
See, subject already
knows this game is both infuriating and addicting. I'm sure he's got some value, some valid points, but I want to come to you first on because I know you were super excited for this game.
Yeah. I listen. Honestly, subject says in those few words there really what this game is encompassing for me. The game, first of all, is immersive. It's beautiful. The sound is amazing. Everything looks so fucking good. It's everything I wanted out of anything that I thought this was going to be. It's this close to being like a Metroid to me, which is really like extra for me. And just from the map, just from like the doors, just from like a little bit of everything. And listen, I'm still enjoying it, but I got to kind of take a break from it. It's
what?
So
from a game you like?
Right. We get it. It's a rogue game. Rogue games are definitely rinse and repeat over and over. You're going to die, you get more. Problem is that there's so little reward compared to other, in my opinion, other games like this that I've played with Rogue, that it almost feels like if you're not great at the game, like I don't think I'm terrible at the game. I'm clearly not good enough to progress deep enough into the second area and see the second boss. But at the same time, like I just feel like I'm just wasting my time. Like right now with work and learning everything and being kind of tired from that and just trying to change my entire schedule and everything going on, I really do have limited time to when I can play.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm playing and it feels like for 2 hours I'm just doing the same shit over and over and I haven't literally moved any bar at all, it just kind of bums you out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and again, I get it. Like, there's a reason I don't play Souls games. I don't have patience.
Right.
They're great games. I have respect for them, and I understand that people love them, and it's a niche. That's awesome. That's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to shit in the game. All I'm saying is that it's not my game style. I think, like you said, you made a good point about it too, that this type of game in a Souls-esque kind of like hard challenge, I'm definitely going to be better with things that aren't like swords. I'll be more into the gun stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But this game is really, really getting frustrated. Like, I was good for like the first, I want to say I've probably put in, let's say 10 hours. I think I've at least got 10 hours, at least.
Sure.
It's probably more. And I just keep going over and over and over and doing these runs, and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm really not getting anywhere. And I want to, because I want to experience the story. I'm already invested in the story.
Yep.
I already love the look of it. This is literally like Metroid meets Lovecraft at a primal level. That's what it is to me. And I want more. I want more. And I can't get that because I'm not good. Like, I'm literally not good enough. And I don't have the patience to keep doing the same shit. But the question I have at this point is it just me? Or am I going up an uphill battle? Well, that's interesting because the entire fucking game literally is RNG. Like, it's like, I don't know if that's the right terminology, but like everything is random.
Yep.
Guns, levels. I love that randomness. I do love that because you don't feel like you're going the same stuff.
Right.
But again, this feels so much like a Metroid. Like, I just want to play through the fucking story, and I fucking can't.
Right.
I can't because I'm not good at the game at all. Like, not like that. Like, on a level where I can even see the second boss. And I respect people that can do it. But, bro, like, throw me a fucking bone here. Like, I want to go through the story. I want to know what's going on this planet.
Yep.
I want to know what's going on with the character. I can already tell even now that the breadcrumbs they've given us as the story seems like they've gotten something woven out there, and I want to be able to enjoy it, and I just can't. So,
and I feel like that is one of the big talking points right now amongst gamers in the gaming community, because that's always a topic that gets brought up when like games like Bloodborne and Demon Souls and Dark Souls get released. People ask, like, you know, man, why aren't there easy difficulty? Why aren't there difficulty settings in this game that you can keep changing to make it easier? Because honestly, man, like this is a tough game. I won't lie. This is a tough game, but it's more accessible, in my opinion. This is going to be subjective. It's going to be different for everybody. I'm really enjoying this game. The only thing I'm not liking about this game are the bugs. There's a lot of bugs right now with this game. A lot of issues that Housemarque is currently trying to work out. They released a patch earlier today, but then they had to pull it back because it was fucking up saves. It was messing stuff up. So they're not quite able to get this game where it needs to be. And, you know, look, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for a developer, but I mean, this is their first attempt at a AAA game. And it's I don't want to say it's open world, but there's a lot going on. It's procedurally generated in certain ways. So it's a big first step for them. And I'm going to be patient and let them kind of get it because, like you, I love the story. But even more so, I fucking love the gameplay. This game, somehow Housemarque, and we talked about this prior to it releasing, Housemarque has successfully merged their industry-leading arcade gameplay and the feel of it
unreal
into a third-person shooter.
I
didn't know if they were going to be able to pull it off, but they have. This game is fucking wild to play.
Fluid as fuck.
The moment-to-moment combat is thrilling as hell. It's super rewarding. So, I mean, I love this game in terms of its gameplay. The incredible atmosphere and the surprisingly engaging story that you brought up. You know, there is a really good story here, and that's the other thing we were concerned about coming in. Does Housemarque have a deft hand? Can they write a good narrative? All the games they've ever made before are fucking arcade games. They don't have the narrative prowess that you would need to drive a third-person shooter. So far, from what I can play, it's really good. It's really engaging. It's very, very interesting. And the other thing I want to hype about it first is that this is a showcase. This is a fucking showcase for the 3D Pulse headset and the DualSense controller. If you have a 3D Pulse headset or a headset that does 3D audio, turn that shit on, have the DualSense ready to go. It is wholly fucking immersive. It is that good. Like, Astrobot was really good. I loved it. Had a lot of fun. And I would still say Astrobot probably used the DualSense in a lot more ways. But in terms of, like, its subtle, immersive stuff, raindrops falling. You can feel raindrops It feels like raindrops, like individual drops on the controller. All sorts of wild shit. I mean, it is a showcase for the hardware that comes with the PS5. It's that good. But yeah, the thing with the game, and I think this is where a little bit, again, this is subjective, and everyone's going to be different. Tone, he's struggling with it a little bit. He's still learning. He's still getting the hang of it. But I feel like that's an argument that I've read from a lot of people, and I feel like this is where we come back to that Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne shit, where everyone's like, well, get good. And I fucking hate that mentality. I hate that mentality. Even though I push myself, I tell myself, look, I got to get good at this. I got to learn the boss stuff. I do not fucking do that to other people. That's bullshit. I hate that. Get good. And when it comes to a game like this, the discussion of difficulty gets brought up by the community, and everyone's like, "Man, why aren't there difficulty settings? Why isn't it easier? Why can't I make it easier?" And the reason I agree with that, why I wish there kind of was a difficulty setting in there to change it, make it easier, is because of the story that Housemarque has created here. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, this is a really, really good game that showcases how good Housemarque can be at writing a narrative-driven game. I mean, look, the gameplay is there. There's a lot of fun to be had here, but there's a good story here as well, a really interesting one. And like Tone said, it's difficult for him to get through the story because he can't get past certain areas. And I think it would behoove Housemarque to let people see this game through to completion. And if that means making it easier or adding a difficulty setting or a story mode or an adventure mode or whatever the fuck ever it is, for people to enjoy it, I think they need to consider it. It's not gonna, if they add an easy mode, it's not gonna change my opinion of the game. If I play through it on hard, I don't fucking care if Tone or somebody else beats it on easy and wants to experience the story. It's not gonna change the fact that I'm gonna go through it and play because I like a challenge. Tone likes a challenge, but there's so many different varieties of challenges.
Right.
It's not just, oh, this game is too hard. It doesn't work like that. There's a whole lot of different types of challenges out there. The reason I like this game is it's because it's like every Housemarque game before this. You have to learn the patterns of the enemies. You have to learn their attack patterns. You have to learn their movements. I dig that part of it. That's like those tactical elements of any game. You're trying to figure out how to beat them. Yes, there is a ton of fucking luck involved. Finding the right weapon with the right roll on it. Finding the right augments and parasites and perks and all this shit to make your character fit your style of play in any general situation. You and I are going to play this game differently. Everybody else is going to play this game differently. So you have to find the right set of perks and augments and whatnot that is going to fit your style of play.
But even then, that's random if you can find
random
that
as
stuff.
Fuck. Random as
Everything
fuck.
is. So you
But then that's when I come back to that, that's roguelike. I mean, that's what it is. And roguelike is not a genre that a lot of people, that's easily accessible and enjoyable for folks because there is so much luck and so much RNG. But man, when you do find that right roll, you know it. And then you're like, you know what, I'm going to make my move now. And that's where the rewarding element of it is. Yes, you might sit there and get there and lose some hard battles. I've lost some really tough battles, and it's heartbreaking. But once I learn the boss's moves, their attack set, and I have the right stuff, you feel the right gear, you feel the shift. You feel the shift. Right. It's like, I've got the advantage now.
Yep.
And that's where it's rewarding for me. But everyone's going to be different. I do think Housemarque needs to add like a difficulty setting because people should really experience this story. They really should. I mean, that's just, I feel like that's what a lot of people want.
And it's funny you say the challenge thing, and again, listen, I grew up through the Nintendo era.
Oh, yeah.
I've beaten games that I don't know that everybody's beat. I like Ninja Gaiden. I beat Ninja Gaiden. That's a fucking hard game to beat. Not everybody's beat that game, right? I don't know anybody that's not beaten TMNT without a Game Genie or anything, though. That hard. I can get there, but I couldn't beat it. You know what I mean? Like, I've been through that fucking era. That was different. That was a time when I had no other responsibilities and you had no other time, and they were built for that coin op. And back then, you still weren't dealing with like the necessarily the roguelike setup, but they were challenging games then.
Oh yeah.
So you've got a challenging game, which is great, and roguelikes, I don't necessarily know if they're challenging. It's just that they're typically a little bit harder maybe, and you got to deal with the randomization and do with what you can. This has got different levels to that where I think it's kind of like this even if you're a Dark Souls player, you kind of be like, man, it's going to take me a minute to kind of get this way or do this because there's a lot of different pulls, and there isn't enough. Again, I don't believe and I don't feel there's enough reward every time you die. Like, okay, cool, I've got almost 30 ethers, but on my next run, where am I going to use them? You know what I mean? Like, it don't fucking matter. Cool, you got a lot of ethers. If you find one of the things, you can do something with them, but it don't fucking matter unless you do, you know?
The only counter I would say to that is, like, I don't, like, yeah, you don't get to keep a whole lot of stuff, but, you know, like when I mentioned the second boss, you know, I was playing and dying over and over again, and I kept picking up this light machine gun and using it here and there, and I would constantly unlock, or I would find, you know, each gun has, like, 2 perks. When your proficiency goes up, they add perks to it for certain abilities, and you have to keep using that gun to unlock that perk so it'll be available the next time you pick that gun up if it happens to drop with that roll.
If you find it, that's the thing.
If it drops at that roll. But at the same time, by spending my time doing that and ranking up to it, once I found that version of that gun with the roll that I wanted on it, and I understand that's the grinding element of it, is you go in there, hopefully find the gun you want with the perk, and then just grind that shit out. And then when you die, you push forward, you try to beat the boss, and if you don't, you come back, you grind through again. And then when you find that gun that has the perks unlocked, you're like, okay, cool, I have the first piece of my puzzle. I've been grinding for this. I have this gun that has these perks on it. I really, really like this roll. This is going to help me. Now I'm going to try to find the right augment or the right parasite, something that's going to give me some kind of a benefit that fits my style of play. And as you're grinding, I just look at the grinding element like an RPG. You're just grinding, trying to find that right stuff. And then when you do, it's ass-kicking time.
Yeah, and I get that, and I think a lot of folks do, even for a roguelike. I just, again, think that the challenge level of the game being also pseudo like a Souls game mixed with that. Now I think it just there's so many layers there. So I don't know. Again, maybe it's me, and maybe it's some of us out there that just don't have the ability or the patience or whatever it would be. You even said something before we streamed about luck being involved. Luck is a big part of that.
It's a huge part of it.
And I play a lot of turn-based RPGs that grew up, and those are some of my favorite. It's all tactical, and some even take the recent Bravely Default. There's some battles in there that you're gonna die a lot, maybe, or unless you're just good at that kind of tactical.
Sure,
that's a different type of challenge, right? And that's kind of more my bag. Where some folks that might play these might not play them kind of things, or may be too hard for them too to get in that tactical thinking. So I just don't know whether or not I have the ability, the mindset yet. I'm sure if I keep playing, that's why I keep trying to grind out that level before I go to the Crimson Sea and try to do more and more and more. I really do. I don't just like run to the Crimson Sea and say, all right, let's try to get past the third part, or even see the boss. Like I get to the third area, and that big fucking thing always fucking wrecks me at some point. Like
I think I know what room you're talking about. It's like a huge circular cannon.
Yeah,
or canyon. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, because when I was feeling it on my first playthrough of that area. I had a nice roll going. I was like, oh, I'm feeling pretty dominant, because I was like laying waste to everybody else.
Yeah.
And I went into that room, and it was over so fast. I was like, what the fuck just happened in here?
So like, I don't know. I don't know really if the solution is. It might not just be my thing. I can tell you, I took the disc out of my PlayStation and put the Nier Automata back in, so I'll focus on that. And I've been wanting to play some Mortal Kombat, but I don't know. Like, I'm going to hang on to the game for now. I actually almost took it back on Sunday and said, you know what, just put it towards something else or whatever.
Ooh, really?
I was that close.
Close.
But I want to point out, this is the important piece for me. I want to do that it's not in like a saltiness form necessarily. I'm not pissed at Housemarque. I'm not mad. It just, like, it's not my cup of tea as far as the game. Well, the gameplay is amazing, but as far as how hard it is,
right,
that's just not me. I don't have that patience. I'm never going to have that patience. I might not even have that time to get good at that. So if I've got limited time to play an hour and a half, save an instance for a night, I want to play something where I feel like I've just moved somewhere forward.
You made
like
some progression.
Right, like Nier Automata is kind of an RPG. So like, I'm going to do a mission, move the story a little bit, and good, keep going. I would rather play this right now because I love everything that you said, the gameplay, the 3D audio, the DualSense, the immersion, the Lovecraftian, the Metroid look and feel and aesthetic of it, like everything about it, and I just can't.
I think maybe that has something to do with the way Sony marketed this game too. I mean, I think a little bit falls on Sony, because they didn't really. I mean, they said. I mean, they'd show you pictures like, "Oh wow, this looks really fun and it looks like a Housemarque game," but they didn't really emphasize, "Look, this game's going to kick you in the nuts."
That's been some of people's complaints, because they felt like that they didn't mention that it was like. I mean, no one's actually said Souls game, but
I mean, at the same time, a lot of the Housemarque arcade games, those fuckers weren't easy.
No, they're not super easy.
They're not easy games.
No.
So I mean, staying true to form.
Sure.
I think Housemarque kind of did what they did. I mean, they make a difficult arcade shooter, but this is like obviously being compared more to like Demon Souls and Dark Souls because it's a third-person game, an action game, and the combat and the battles are very similar. But this isn't too much of it doesn't deviate too much from what they've been known for doing with their games. So it's a slippery slope. And right now it's hard to recommend this game at the moment because of all the issues and the bugs and everything that's going on with it. Because
I have an experience, which is weird.
I know, and that's
really
another
weird.
thing. Like I've had the game, but there's an issue right now where if you use one of the pre-order suits, once in a while you could walk into a room and it'll trigger something where you can't leave the room.
Which is wild.
Which is weird, but that's also extremely frustrating. If you've been playing, if you're on a 90-minute, 2-hour run, and you go into a room and you can't get out and you have to reset, that's infuriating. That's fucking angry. And then the other thing is, there is no save system, and the only way you can save your run if you're done for the night is you have to put your PS5 in rest mode. But the problem with that is if Housemarque updates the game, your run's gone. So, I understand the desire for a save option. I do feel like there's probably something Housemarque could do in that area, but this is a roguelike game. It's meant to be a one-time playthrough. It's meant to just play through. It's not meant to be a thing that you can drag out. It's not like an RPG where you're like, I'm going to stop here. It's all about that run. It's all about the run. And if you die, you die, and then you go back to the beginning. But, like, if they figure out a save option thing, I don't think it would hurt to have, have one save per run. One save per run. I think that would be fair. And then put it in rest mode and then turn off your auto updates on your PS5 and you should be fine.
Right.
But, with the glitches in the game right now, like I said, they put out update 1.33 earlier today. It fucked up a bunch of stuff, so they had to pull it back. So they're still working on fixing these issues. But if they can get around that and figure out a way to address the difficulty for folks who just want to experience the fucking story that is amazing and the save conundrum, if they can figure these things out, this could be a really, really good game. I'm loving it so far, but I am taking a break until I get a patch because I don't want to have my shit ruined by some bug or some weird shit going on with it. Right. So I'm going to wait. But as soon as that's fixed and ready to go, I'm jumping back in because I fucking love this game. It's fun as hell. I love the challenge. I love the bosses. I love the world. I love going in there, getting my teeth kicked in, starting over, and just grinding for that perfect roll, that one roll that I know will help me get through whatever is in front of me. And that's the beauty of roguelikes. But I think Housemarque has a lot on their plate right now. They have to figure out what they're going to do. And I don't know if they're ever going to make everybody happy.
No, and I think it's kind of a really, and at the end of the day, it's kind of almost like this. What's the word I'm looking for? Nod to Housemarque for potentially creating this game that's similar to game styles they've done before or being this hard, but because and listen, to point out this fact, I'm enjoying the game. Like I wouldn't keep playing it over and over if I wasn't enjoying it. Like and being a little bit of a glutton for that punishment because I really do enjoy it. That's just it. It's like it's addicting. That's the word I keep coming back to. I'm addicted to playing it.
Right.
But at the same time, like I'm just like I need to feel like I'm getting somewhere. And again, that's just me. But man, they have a story here that they've managed to put together, and we're just getting breadcrumbs of so far. And just by visuals and thought process and everything, kudos to them. Because look, if the people are so upset, not just because, well, at least for me, not just because like I can't play it or I'm not good or it's too hard, but because we want to play the story, I mean that kind of says
compliment.
That's a pretty big compliment. Yeah, that says something. So
it's a testament to how good their story is.
Yep. So what we got?
We'll see what Housemarque has to do. I know they're listening. They've tweeted out multiple times that they are listening to the community. They are trying to figure out something. They're saying no changes are in place at the moment, and just keep playing the game as is. But they are listening, and they are going to try to find something. I just feel like it's difficult for them because they have to try to figure out to find a way to add something to this game that probably wasn't planned for it.
I just hope that Retro Studios right now is taking some fucking notes. Or if you're Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, there's Kronos. 2 words. Get good.
There he is.
Yeah, get good.
There he is.
I love Kronos, but that's like the goofiest thing ever. All right. How you doing?
I'm all right for
All right. We're gonna move on to our next topic. It's a good one because, God damn it, Tone, they did it.
If we hadn't been blindsided by this one, I don't know what the fuck we've been blindsided by
They
recently.
did it.
What'd they do?
They nailed it.
They nailed that fucking ending.
They fucking
Yeah,
nailed.
they really did.
This ending of Invincible season finale. I don't know how many in the chat have been watching this show, but they fucking nailed it. We talked about it throughout the season. The first 3 episodes were good. There were some in the middle that were a little shaky, some that were decent. And we were concerned, like, man, I hope they can just nail this story for Nolan because this is the main overarching story. And they fucking nailed it. Nailed it, dude. It was tragic. It was heartbreaking. It was shocking. It was disturbing. But man, everything about it was fucking dope. Tell me that shit didn't hit you in the feels. Blanco, that shit hit me in the feels. And part of it is because of the performances from the players involved, especially J.K. Simmons. He was fucking lights out in this episode with his voice work. He was amazing. Mark was amazing. I can't remember the character's name, the actor's name who plays Mark.
Steve
something.
Walking
out,
Dead
chat.
Steve.
But no, this was absolutely incredible. And now the thing about this episode is this was easily the most violent episode to date.
Yeah.
But
Steven Yeun, yeah.
the thing about this episode that I like is, yes, it was shocking and whatnot, but it was the way it was depicted, the way it was shown, and how much emotional impact it had on Mark. I mean, a lot of people died in this episode. A lot of people died. The focus on Omni-Man, on Nolan, the whole time the season, he's the hero, he's the savior of this town, and then you realize just how quickly this guy can eviscerate an entire planet. We find out his true intentions. And the way they utilize the violence to not only depict Nolan as what we were kind of fearing that he was going to be to some degree. I didn't think it was going to be this dark.
Mm-hmm.
But then to also show just how adapted Mark has become to the human race.
Mm-hmm.
How in touch he is with the people of Earth. And when you look at the horrors and everything that happened in this episode, it was disturbing.
Yeah.
It was really, really dark and
like innocent bystander dark.
Fuck. Horrible ways. Like the one scene that really bothered me was the one where Mark was trying to save the woman and her kid.
Yeah.
In the building as it's collapsing.
Yeah.
And then you realize, the building, he can't stop the building from falling. And then when he gets down to the ground, he's holding her arm, and that's all it is her arm. And you're just like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, man. The entire season has been interesting because of the ups and downs. I mean, this episode is good. This wasn't so good. The pacing always never felt right, but that's okay. If I guess at times they're working on different characters and trying to develop and stuff.
That's what it was. They're focusing on Adam
Yeah.
and Eve and some of the other Guardians and focusing on that. It wasn't quite as interesting.
Right.
It was necessary, but
Right.
not quite as interesting as what we were
Right.
getting with Nolan and Mark.
But if you're gonna do that, stick the goddamn
You
landing.
gotta stick the goddamn
Gotta
landing.
stick that goddamn landing, and they stuck the goddamn landing. And I know, Blanco out there has been a fan of the comics. Did you subject?
Yep. His subject says this comic is one of my favorites of all time. I'm so glad they're doing this show the way they are.
Yeah, so that's great. And so listen, it's Kirkman, so we don't know what 2 and 3 are gonna look like or whatever.
Right.
Who knows? But so far so good. I didn't read the comic clearly, but I'm enjoying this and telling anybody I can, you need to watch this shit.
Yeah.
It's violent and gratuitous as fuck, and it's great.
Yeah.
And honestly, the story's good. The story's awesome too. It's very now that we know more.
Yep.
Because so
now
much.
that
happened,
we know what Nolan is about, and you're just like, when you find out what he's really about, you're like,
right?
Holy
You're like,
shit.
yeah, and it's almost like at this point, who knows what the season 2 is going to be, and who knows what season. I mean, maybe if you read the comics, I suppose you might know, but from this kind of standpoint, with no experience with it, holy fuck, that opens up the door for a lot of crazy shit, and how that is going to play out as well too. So
I mean, we saw some scenes at the end where we could see other storylines kind of opening up. We saw Cecil was working with the same guy that turned Rick into RoboCop. The guy Ezra Miller voiced.
yeah, but I'm gonna guess that Cecil doesn't know how he was doing that. I would guess. I mean, who knows?
I mean, he looked like he was happy with what he was doing, making those droids or whatever they are.
Well, because keep in mind that at the school he was using humans.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And those ones were dead soldiers.
Oh, that's true too.
So I think that's going to play out more darker down the road again.
Yeah, we got to see some other planets. Got to see some stuff going on other planets. So we're kind of seeing, like, we got a little sneak peek at what some of the future maybe villains or maybe allies of Mark. I mean, there was a lot going on in those final scenes as it was playing out. But dude, yeah, I'm fucking hyped for this show now. I mean,
oh yeah,
to bring it home like that and just have an emotional roller coaster. An impactful show that was shocking, heartbreaking, tragic, and just nail everything. It was fucking incredible. It was so good. It was so good. I am just a huge fan of this series. If you guys haven't watched it, it's on Amazon Prime right now. It's 8 episodes, and the first 3 episodes. The first episode was nuts, and then the last episode is fucking bonkers. Everything in between is hit or miss, but mostly it's on the hit side, and I cannot fucking wait for season 2 of this thing, man. We already know season 2 and season 3 are confirmed, but yeah, dude, I'm there. You go, Atomic. He's binging it tomorrow. Do it, dude. We want to get your thoughts on it too, so make sure you let us know in the Discord what you think of it. Yeah, I can't. I told my wife about it. I'm like, we gotta watch this show. You gotta watch this show. It's fucking good. So we'll definitely be checking out. So really a big fan of it. If you guys do watch it, if you do binge it, let us know in the Discord or let us know on YouTube. Sign up in the comments. Let us know what you think of Invincible. 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. I thought it was fucking
absolutely, and I'm the same way. Like, it's almost to the point where I'm like, come on, it's animation and voice work. Can we get this out like the end of the year or something like that? Would be cool. So Kronos, I know he said he binged it all the way through. Let's see, Blanco Comics had a whole lot of holy shit moments. That's why I know you were kind of saying, and it sounds like Subject is agreeing. Subject says this is a big piece of this, and this is ironic coming from Kirkland. This is a perfect adaptation, honoring the source material while also switching things up enough to keep comic readers guessing. Well, true and good, and that's great to hear that. It is Kirkland, so we got to wait to see what's going to happen in season 2 because of The Walking Dead. But anyways, that's great, and that can be tricky, and I understand that adaptation sometimes to film or TV, you do cut trim some of the fat because some of it doesn't always translate, or in hindsight you're like, that was kind of dumb or whatever. So that's good. That's good to hear that even you guys are still enjoying it with all that too. That's very, very reassuring.
Absolutely. All right, now.
Yeah, I'll go to the bathroom.
He's going to go tinkle now. We'll be right back. We have one more topic we want to talk about. We're really excited to talk about. I know he's going to go off on it. He's got a lot to say. He's really excited.
Mortal Kombat?
And not Mortal Kombat, for Pete's sake. All right, we'll be right back.
Beer's delicious.
And welcome back. It is really good. This beer is really, really tasty. We have one final topic to talk about tonight, and that is Star Wars: The Bad Batch premiere that dropped on Tuesday and yesterday.
On May the 4th be with you, Day.
On May the 4th be with you. Well, see? Yeah, the vaccine and the beer is not working together. And it is also, what is today? Revenge of the 5th?
Revenge of the 5th.
Yep, that's pretty dope. I like that one, man. I like that there's Revenge of the 5th. Pretty cool. Batone, this is one you've been really excited about. You're a huge fan of Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
You're a big fan of that show. What was the other show? Rebels?
Oh, yeah.
Another one you're a really big fan of. Obviously, Bad Batch was one that you and I were really excited about when we saw the trailer, because I'm not too familiar with it, but I love the concept of how these guys are kind of like mirrored after 80s action stars or action characters. They have that same mentality, that same approach to stuff. Tone, I'm going to turn the mic over to you because you are the resident Star Wars guy. I want to get your thoughts on Bad Batch.
It was awesome.
That's it.
Yep, that was it. It was great. Honestly, yeah, we know Delta Squad. I know El Blanc. I'm sorry, but come on. I'm sorry. I am. But no, it was great. Like, right out the gate, they started with a character who I absolutely love. And I know I'm not alone on that too. But as soon as I heard the voice, as soon as I heard the name, I was like, oh, holy shit, kind of thing. It was a really, really great
Well,
moment.
you can say who.
Freddie Prinze Jr. is once again reprising the role.
Oh, is that really him doing the voice?
Yeah, he actually did the voice. He was trying to make, because people were kind of joking too, like, wow, that was really like puberty had hit pretty early on little Caleb. Because Kanan Jarrus' real name was Caleb, and he was a Padawan too. I can't remember her name. I never ever do.
Mm-hmm.
But it threaded back into Rebels as well, which was awesome, and I hope we get to see more of that somehow down the line as well too. But yeah, it really kicked off right out the gate, man. And typical, what is it, Batch 99 or Squad 99?
Squad 99.
Just comes in out of nowhere, and you've got Wrecker just doing his thing. Like, listen, Wrecker alone is worth the admission fee because he's so entertaining. It's just goofy, big dumb oaf, whatever it is. I
love him. He's like Hulk. Just smash. I want to blow everything up.
And it's great, and it works. And that's the great thing about these characters is even how they integrated Echo from the Clone Wars. Just they all fit. Like they're this crazy squad that brings a different skill set to the table, and they're
very
just
camaraderie. Like everyone, like yeah,
right. And they don't need to follow any orders. They're not like the reg. They're not like the regs. They're not the rest of the clone troopers. They kind of do their own thing, and that takes it actually is a big piece of the kind of the story at times too, where how that story is going to flow because they don't really follow orders. They kind of just do their own thing. They're kind of like a separate. They're a loud, messy like Navy SEALs, I guess, really, or something like that, which is crazy too. But no, the episode was fantastic. I mean, it was 70 minutes long, I believe, if I remember correctly. It was a long episode. It felt like a movie.
Yeah, it did,
which was kind of cool. We had a lot of good threading into like because it takes place right at kind of the end of the not only the actual Clone Wars series, but mixes in also with Revenge of the Sith and how that did too. You got some Palpatine speech at the end, which was pretty awesome, and it just felt like, it felt like more Clone Wars, and they were getting more content from that era, and like we never left. But at the same time, exciting because it's back, because it's all Dave Filoni, of course. They introduced a new character. I think that's probably for some of us. I know for Rasslin and Rohit, that was kind of some of our apprehension. The character they introduced was very curious, but I think we all kind of agree we want to see how it plays out.
Yep.
We've seen characters similar that played out and ended up being some of the best in the entire Star Wars universe. So we're gonna kind of wait and see on that. I think the more that of course, as always, Screen Crush, listen to him today and putting some extra thoughts into it, and then kind of realizing, oh yeah, there's some kind of like layers to that character I didn't pick up on, which was odd. I picked up on everything else the way the episode was going out. It was almost like, and maybe it's just because I'm so used to Star Wars content, like, oh yeah, here's this. Oh yeah, I called that. I called this. I called that. I called this. This part I kind of didn't miss, or I kind of missed it. It kind of went over my head, but kind of made sense the way he was explaining it. And it's almost like, and I think they're going to keep trying to do this, like threading stuff in a little bit lightly to The Mandalorian.
Right.
Even though not everybody likes the sequel trilogy, it's going to exist, and we just got to live with it. They're going to slowly kind of try to thread stuff through that to get to there as well too. And they kind of do with this show. So there's a lot going on. I don't think there was a lot of like crazy nods and crazy Easter eggs necessarily. We got to see some great characters come back. Moff Tarkin's in it, which is awesome.
That was crazy.
Ian McDiarmid does apparently. I'm not 100% clear on it. I don't think they use his actual speech from Revenge of the Sith.
It might have been new.
I think it was new track that he did, and I did forget this. This was also pointed out that Tim Curry originally did the voice for Palpatine in the early Clone Wars cartoon, which was really.
Did Tim Curry do that?
Tim Curry was doing it for a while, and then Ian McDiarmid came in. So, listen, it's if you've watched Clone Wars, if you enjoyed Rebels, if you like The Mandalorian, this is more of the same because this is the guy that writes that stuff. If you haven't seen any of those, you don't need to enjoy this because it kind of does thread enough with the movies and takes place in an era that's still pretty open wide and written. Like, who knew what this was going to go? You kind of knew if you were going to get this perspective, you were probably going to get like these guys were going to one way or another be like good. Because in the Clone Wars perspective, you were supposed to be watching the good guys.
Right.
And it's the same with this one as well too. Like you're still kind of following the good guys. They kind of do their thing. They don't like taking orders. They kind of go on their own track, and that's where we're going to go with it. And that's kind of what we figured would happen, I think. It's just that with the new character they kind of introduced, how that's going to be a catalyst, how that's going to work. Is it going to be campy? It already kind of feels like, boy, is this going to be? Almost didn't fit. Like, because at the end of the episode, you're like, really?
Yeah.
Do we need, But again, we are talking about Dave Filoni, so you kind of got to like pump the
And
brakes
Dave
a
we
little bit.
trust, and Dave we trust.
So, yeah. Long story short, great episode. If you haven't seen Clone Wars, again, you don't need to see that sort of stuff, but I definitely highly recommend it. If you got a taste of this, and it's your first taste and you're enjoying it, as always, go back and watch the Clone Wars. Do it the chronological way that there's a list online you can find to do it properly if it makes some more sense to you. Or just watch the damn thing because there's some great episodes in it. I think me and you both really enjoyed. There's a scene in this episode. It's probably the best scene in the entire episode. Where there's a fight scene and they're kind of being tested.
Yep.
And they get to show why they are who they are and why they're so special. And it's a tactical scene, and it's really fucking. It sticks out for the whole episode. Honestly,
it's seriously, man. That's the one thing I talked about before the show is I just couldn't get over how tactical some of the encounters were.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I mean, they're actually like, and I joked to you, but it partially joked is it was more tactical than Without Remorse in some ways.
It really was. Actually,
I mean, the way that they had to like kind of like address these situations and how they would approach it. I mean, it was very tactical, calling stuff out, flanking patterns and all that stuff. I was like, oh fuck, man, I can get down with this.
Right.
Like, it was really, really good. And like I said, everyone involved, all the characters are really fleshed out. They're really entertaining. We saw Crosshair is kind of going to be the one that's getting set up kind of for possibly like a redemption arc. Hopefully, we'll see. But the other thing I liked was we got to see some characters that I am familiar with. Like you said, we got to see Tarkin. We actually got to see Saul Guerrero, which was
really
fucking
cool.
awesome. There was a lot going on in this episode, but it was really entertaining. Like, I'm legit excited, but this is 16 episodes.
I didn't think it was gonna be that many.
16 episodes, dude.
Basically like a new Clone Wars.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, man. That's for like the next, like, what is that, 3 months?
Yeah, and honestly, like when you think about it too, like that kind of content, that means that they don't have that. This is their main cartoon drive. I mean, the last one didn't go over so well. Resistance, that was taking place like pre the sequel series, but they did one extra season for Clone Wars to close it out. And with Disney Plus being so good and popular, they're probably like, "Yo, Filoni,
do whatever you want.
Get to work." And honestly, this is a time period. Like, I mean, we clearly when you get to the Galactic Civil War and they're laying the threads for the rebellion now, I think in the series, but I don't know whether or not I take that back. They have a lot of room to play with. You're still 19 years from this point before Luke Skywalker decides to grab a lightsaber.
Right.
That's a lot of fucking content.
It's a lot of room.
It's a lot of room. And honestly, if you lead with a group like this, but I mean, they're still clones. So unlike Rex and some of these guys who were able to make it because they weren't supposed to make it, who knows where this is going to end up? There's a lot. That's a big fucking galaxy.
Tricky region. 6 out of 10 now for Without Remorse because this was more tactical.
See?
Telling you, man, there were some scenes in this show. I was like, damn, dude, this is pretty dope,
bro. Just saying.
But no, it was entertaining. It was fun. I was locked in, dude. I was like really locked in watching this show. And talking to you after the fact, I was like, man, there was some stuff that I did miss just because I'm not familiar with it. But I'm glad they're touching on that stuff. Crash puts out a long message. Says, despite being excited to watch this, I personally felt burnt out from this Star Wars era. I've never been a huge fan of the prequel era. It feels like a lot of extra stuff we see either takes place after Jedi or before A New Hope.
So I get that. I think that's a fair criticism. You're not the first person I've seen that has said that, actually. However, I think because that the masses really have enjoyed it and it's been successful, and if you can milk it but do it well, somebody like Dave Filoni at the lead, because this might play out some similarity to Clone Wars in some way because of the era. But keep in mind, with just the first episode, this is really the only taste we're going to have that's, Clone War era, because these guys, while are technically clones, you're going to go into more of the Jedi Purge era. So that means we could see a whole lot of shit. We know that Ming-Na Wa's character, Ferric or whatever her name was from Mandalorian, a younger version of hers in here. We don't know where the story is going to go. So for that, which is fair, like you're kind of burnt out to this era, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I got a feeling that burnout's going to change real fast.
Should be enough fresh content.
With 16 episodes, it's not going to feel like the Clone Wars, because I think you're going to also, it's going to shadow, and you're going to watch the Empire, which we already saw in this episode. You had the Coruscant Guard on, which is funny that they said, oh, it's a Coruscant Guard. I said that right away when they popped. I'm like, oh, holy shit, the Coruscant Guard's on fucking Kamino. What's up with that? And then they were like, oh, Coruscant regs are here, blah, blah, blah. I think you're gonna see more of that evolution between bridging that 19 years and certain other things happen that it might not feel so much like the Clone Wars. And let's be honest, like this group is like we love Rex, but they were also, really filing rank. They were following orders and having stuff to do with Jedi. These guys don't. So here's my thing on that is like where I get that you're burnt on the Clone Wars. I'm usually the guy that's always burnt out on seeing Jedi. I like, because again, it's a big galaxy, it's a lot of characters, you can bring in a lot of stuff. I like non-Jedi stuff because it's more interesting, because we know that Jedi are badass and powerful, but I don't want to see it all the time. This is going to be an opportunity where we might not see a lot of that. We might see just more exploration of the galaxy, and I think there's more room for storytelling in that. And to me, that's a little bit more exciting as well.
Jay McKenzie says, I've always been super interested in what happened just after Order 66 in which Jedi Live died. I hope they explore that deep, like the Dude Explorer's tones burnt. Gee, man, he almost got me to read that out loud.
He almost got you to read
that.
You
son of a bitch.
So, because yes, well, so we got tastes of that in Jedi Fallen Order, because this is the era, like within the first 10 years, I believe, mostly, where you see what we call the Jedi Purge era. That's when Darth Vader is supposed to be going through the galaxy, and literally doesn't matter who. I mean, we saw him peace out younglings in Revenge of the Sith. Like, you got force sensitivity, unless the Emperor wants to take you and put you in a room or something, he's gonna piece you out. It's Jedi Purge era. So I would imagine we'll see some Jedi stuff in this from time to time, because a lot of people love that stuff, and you got to kind of still give people what they want. I get that, but I would like to explore some of that stuff, and there's plenty of room to do it. I do got a feeling we're going to see Vader in this at some point. I would imagine, like, how are you going to do anything after Revenge of the Sith before A New Hope and not have any Vader, or not have building blocks for, like, Rogue One or something like that, or Director Krennic or something like that? That would be cool. How cool it would be to see Ben Mendelsohn come out and do a voice for Director Krennic.
Dude, that'd be dope.
That would be fucking dope. So there's a lot they can do with this, I think, that makes it feel like it's not Clone Wars, so...
Crash says, I'm a huge Empire fan, so I'm glad they're in this show. I really want more bounty hunter or spice runner stories. Always thought a movie about Fett taking hand in carbonite to Jabba would be the coolest shit ever.
I mean, I'm the same way, honestly. Empire is my favorite, and I love bounty hunters. Those are all my favorite, and Boba Fett's and stuff like that. We got the Book of Boba, and even though it's not necessarily the pieces you're talking about, we're going to get to see some of that, like, scum and villainy a little bit more.
That's at the end of this year, right?
Yeah, that's in December. Yeah. So mark your calendars on that one. But I think for this, this is a good necessary way to move forward, because the Clone Wars ran 6 seasons, 6.5. The 7th season was a limp dick, and then they redo the season to kind of close it out and do well, because they see what's been going on Disney Plus. And people love it because the people love Filoni. And listen, like, if things like Resistance aren't going to take off and they're not doing well, you got to stay true to what is doing well. And with, again, so many galaxy, so many stories, you got to have some familiarity, and you got to be able to move forward and keep everybody together and things that you like. And this is a good way to do that, because it's a unique group of people. Yes, they're clones, but it's not like the Clone Wars. This is going to be much more different. They're not going to have restraints on them. Captain Rex didn't get in a ship and say, I'm going to go this way and see what this adventure's like. This is going to be more like that. And you got characters that are all so unique, but also are kind of a unit. I think it's really going to be for some good storytelling.
I know, I'm stoked about it. Tricky says, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I want some fucking Thrawn.
I know. And hey, who knows? Maybe, we saw Thrawn in Rebels. Who knows? Maybe, Thrawn's been around for a minute at this point after, Revenge of the Sith at some point. So we might see him at some point in this. That'd be kind of cool. Like, there's a lot of room. There's 19 years. I think Rebels takes place about 5-6 years, I think, before A New Hope. You know what I mean? So there's room for a lot of different things that they can do with this in those cameos.
Look at that. Okay, Tone, you got me more open to the show. Look at what you done. Look what you did.
I get people to hate Mortal Kombat and love Bad Batch.
And I'm going to get you to love Returnal even more.
I do love it.
No, I mean love it.
I don't know about that.
You're going to, God damn it. I'm going to make it happen.
Killer
Killer Anubis, what's going on, dude?
What up, dude?
Killer Anubis. But. Yeah, dude.
Is it really? Really? We really, well, you want to talk about something else real quick?
I want to go to bed,
bro. You want to go to bed. You're a
I
big
want to
tired
go to
big
bed.
baby.
I am tired. And you guys, I know it's a shorter show, and I apologize. And we didn't really breeze through everything. We just didn't have a whole lot of stuff to talk about tonight. But I felt like we did a pretty good job. But I apologize if my energy's a little down. It was really, really tough to get up on here and do the show tonight. But there was so much stuff that we wanted to talk about. And I didn't want to torpedo the show just because I felt like Cameron and Feeler's day off.
You sure look like it.
I'm dying.
Yeah, you are.
I seriously feel like I'm fucking dying. Half-Ass Beauty says, watch Mortal Kombat for the second time tonight when my daughter's shit in the tub.
So a couple of that's pretty funny. A couple things. If you want to hit that merch button, of course, as well too. Do you got a merch button over there?
I don't have a merch button, but I can type in merch. I know somebody bought some stuff tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Jay McKenzie.
Jay McKenzie bought some merch.
We thank you so that. Yes, we got merch now. If you guys get some time, want to check out some merch, T-shirt and a mug for right now. Bear with us. We'll explore more later, but we do appreciate that. As always, join our Discord if you get time. We'd love to have you. A lot of clowning, a lot of horrible, horrible memes. You guys need to see some therapy or have some therapy.
Yeah, the Discord chat can get a little rowdy.
Yeah.
Tricky asked real quick, are you guys checking out Hood Outlaws? Tricky, I am this close.
We are on the fence on that.
I have Resident Evil pre-ordered. I am going to be checking that out this weekend, and I'll be talking about that next week.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking at the $29.99 version of Hood Outlaws because if you pre-order it, you can play it this weekend. So I am contemplating it. I think it has crossplay, but I can't be certain. So I'd have to figure out what system you're going to get it on, Tricky, and stuff like that. So I want to touch base with as many people as I can to see who's getting it because I don't want to buy it twice.
Right.
I want to say crossplay is a part of it, but I can't be certain. But I am really close. I'm really close, Tricky. I'm right there on the fence. I'm picking up Hoods and Outlaws.
It's just like anything else for me.
Oh, he says it does have crossplay. Okay, well, shit.
It's just like, I mean, Outriders. Some people are still playing it, but a lot of people aren't. So
see, I like this because it is competitive. It is 4v4.
Right. I'm gonna kind of see how this shakes out and get people's thoughts on it.
I think the reviews drop tomorrow, so I'll wait to hear what people have to say about it. But I just pre-ordered Resident Evil 8. I am gonna pre-order Mass Effect next week. I am gonna buy that. So it's like $29.99 right now is with buying this many games: Returnal, Resident Evil, and Mass Effect. It's kind of hard to say, oh, yeah, I'll drop $30 on a multiplayer game because I just don't know if I'll play it.
I'm so much more concerned about my backlog than I am anything else because the next game I'm worried about right now at this point for sure. Listen, I've never played the original Mass Effect trilogy, so I know I need to get to that and probably play that. I want to, but again, with not any big actual PS5 titles on the horizon outside of Returnal, I'm just waiting for that Dungeons and Dragons game.
That looks fucking sweet. That's June,
like early mid-June, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
so
that's
my next actual for sure buy.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 8, I'll get to at some point. I'm not overly concerned about that. But for me,
reviewed pretty well. I'm sitting about an 85 on Metacritic.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yep.
I do have a lot of love for Capcom, so I like to see them succeed. And just anything that Capcom does, hopefully it's longer than the 6 hours that Resident Evil 3 remake was.
I was saying this is a little bit longer.
Good. But other than that, don't forget this Friday night, if you guys want to support AAW Pro again, watching Rohit and Jake something, I believe. I know at least one of them for sure has a match. I think Rohit does. I'm not sure about Jake something, but you can check them out on Fight TV this Friday night. They're usually like $10 or something. This one might be a little bit more. I don't know for sure, but definitely support them. Check them out as well too. Other than that, I think are you going to be streaming this new stuff Friday night or anything?
It just depends where I'm at. I'm hoping I would feel better. I'll probably stream Resident Evil on Friday night. I'll probably check that out.
Okay. I'll be kind of trying to watch for that as well too. So,
also tomorrow night, make sure you watch Impact.
Oh yeah, that was the other one. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Impact tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here, twitch.tv/Impact Wrestling. You can check out Rohit and Trey Miguel and keep your eyes open for maybe some sneaky Jake something.
If Jake something shows up, it is fucking on.
It is fucking on. So that's it. That's all I have. Yeah, you go to bed, you big baby.
I'm gonna go to bed. For Fanboytone, I'm TheDude79. Thank you so much for watching tonight and hanging out and being here every week. Your support is invaluable. We love you guys and girls so much. We love you in the Discord. We love you on YouTube. We love you if you're listening on podcast services everywhere. We really appreciate your support. Honestly, you have no idea. We'll be back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Have no idea what we're going to be watching this weekend. We're going to take a look at the releases and make sure you're in the Discord. We'll let you know what the focuses will be for next week, but I'm sure we'll find more than enough stuff to talk about.
Usually do.
Always do. Have a great night, everybody. Have a safe weekend. We'll see you next Wednesday.